Get 'em.
Welcome, folks. Y'all come on in and make yourself at home. This here, well, this is the Rolling Thunder Podcast, your home for all things Rolling Thunder.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the Rolling Thunder Podcast. It is Friday, June the 6th. And if you have social media or have been paying attention to anything related to Rolling Thunder, this is Golf Scramble weekend.
Come on. Fired up.
Man, it is. Jacob said this morning, Robbie and I were here about 5 or 10 till 5. And Jacob got here a little after 8, and he goes, man, it's going to be another year or two. This is going to turn into a week-long affair.
Yeah, really. It
felt like Talladega.
We had folks showed up Wednesday night, late from Michigan.
Yeah.
Walker
came in
and Laura.
pretty late.
And y'all see this service right here? I mean, just
can't beat it.
Somebody just served me a cup of coffee. The CEO.
That's right.
Top-down leadership around here. Walker and Laura came in Wednesday night late, straight from Michigan, turkey hunting. And then we had Girk and his whole crew got here Thursday afternoon. I guess Stoner and his bunch got here a little after lunch, so Mexican lunch at JR's, and then golf yesterday afternoon. So this is kind of day 2 of festivities of Golf Scramble week. So
getting the ball rolling.
Yeah, high energy this morning.
Got the pig on the smoker.
Yeah. That's right.
We're ready.
So on this episode, I've got my buddy Robbie Shug, media specialist, Mr. Cameraman Extraordinaire. I've got Walker and Luker Davidson, the Auburn brothers, brethren, dogs.
That's right.
What have you guys been up to? That's right, War Eagle. There you go.
Man,
on the road.
Man, mostly been doing some turkey hunting. Luker and I had a big road trip at the end of turkey season. We made out west and had a great time. And even we hunted a few other states during the early part of the season and hunted a good bit in Alabama. I think we both had probably the best seasons we've ever had at home. So
awesome.
Yeah, fantastic springs all around.
Yeah,
Very blessed. It was awesome.
It was a good one
Heck
for sure.
Yeah. That's
I have
good
a pretty
to hear.
cool boss. He let me off for turkey season. So
Whatever. Your boss didn't let you off. Your boss just didn't pay you for turkey season.
that's fine. That's fine.
But, hey, as long as your bills are paid and you get hunting season off, that's a pretty good gig.
No doubt.
What else do you want in
Can't
life?
complain. Cannot complain.
I mean, overall, turkey season, y'all says best turkey season at home of your natural born life. I mean,
yeah, we picked up a couple new places, so that really helped.
Always helps.
One of them was really productive. It was a newer clear-cut place at some timber company land, but it seemed like those turkeys were pretty responsive that lived down there.
Yeah, it was a good time. We hadn't had much experience hunting that type of just brand new, fresh clear cut that big, like the whole track cut. So that was kind of cool to learn. Yeah, kind of learn it a little bit more, and it was fun. Especially because our little hunting camp down in Union Springs, we have termed it the Union Springs Northern Central Bullitt County Public Hunting Grounds.
It might as well be public land.
Because there's so many members, or because so many people have a key, or
both.
That many members, and
gets rode around. I mean, the only difference between Tuskegee and our place is that you can go in the gate at our place.
You can drive around. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a lot of. Just guys that ride around, yelp off buggies. And, like, I've been on our club president for years. Man, can we make it where people have to park and walk in during turkey season? Like, there's gates all around this place. Just park at the gate and walk in and hunt. Mm-hmm. And they won't make it a rule, but it would, it's a 4,000-acre property in Union Springs, and not a single turkey got killed off of it this year.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, Luker and I hunted at least 10 mornings each down there.
Yeah, hunted.
Wow.
And, was on a turkey every time, but that's the hardest.
Slick.
Man,
They've been educated.
They're tough.
No doubt.
Is that the place we hunted with your dad?
Yeah, that was where. Yeah, the biggest thing is they just stay on the edges, on the property lines. They stay out in the middle of clear cuts or places you can't get to. They just know where to roost in hard spots. And if you kill one down there, you've definitely done something.
For sure.
Yeah. Generally speaking, I know both of y'all covered a lot of dirt this year, and you did too, Robbie. But what would you give the common man's public sentiment about the state of turkey hunting in general? Not public land versus private land, but I just mean like what's the kind of the attitude? Turkey's on the decline, turkey's back on the rise.
To me, I would say it seems like they're, and at least in the Southeast, I would say we're on the upswing compared to where we were probably 5 years ago. Like I remember when I was in college, kind of my middle college career, it was like when everybody was down in the dumps about it, when all the research was really, people were pushing super heavy and going crazy about all that. And so I would say I mean, 2 dry springs in a row and probably had good hatches. And
definitely not hurt us.
Yeah, I mean, I think compared to this year where it's been raining every day for the last 3 weeks, I mean, I'm not super optimistic about this hatch necessarily, but I would say at least in the Southeast it's probably on the upswing. I mean, I hunted in South Carolina, and I know they've done some stuff with their seasons and limits there, and I think while the residents aren't too happy about their number of turkeys getting taken away, I do think that everybody I talked to up there seemed like it had been better.
Yeah.
So.
Robbie, what are you hearing? What's your sentiment?
It was different across the whole country. I saw a lot of turkeys, kind of central part of the country. Over here, I struggled a lot. I saw a lot of turkeys die, but it just seemed like a lot of the bigger properties, a whole bunch of logging going on, which I felt like was pushing turkeys to other places you couldn't really get to. But as far as numbers, I feel like there's a lot of turkeys around. There's plenty to hunt.
Yeah. Luker?
Yeah, I'd say the population as a whole is probably thriving pretty well. Like Robbie said, traveling kind of on all 3 corners of the country this year. Some places I went where I've gone in years past, and there were a lot of turkeys there, and I don't know if it's because I was late this year or what, but they were hunted out or just what it was, but there were not as many turkeys this year. But then we, out west, we found a lot of just turkeys in different stages. I don't know if that's because of breeding or when they were born or what. I don't know what it is, but flocks or solo longbeards, and you go to the next field and there's a flock with 5 longbeards and hens and jakes. And
being further north or south, there was turkeys there was more single turkeys to the north, and when we went further south and ended up finding a lot more flocked up turkeys. So that was kind of interesting. It wasn't like it followed, like you think, South Alabama turkeys are going to be done before North Alabama turkeys or whatever, but it didn't seem like that was the case out there.
And I don't know if that plays much into the, like you said, the population where it's all headed, but it's different, and it's cool and it's interesting.
I will say one of the places Luker and I hunted this year, just while we were talking to people and stuff, you tell a buddy, oh, yeah, I'm hunting out here, and they're like, all right, well, I'll shoot you a pin or, something. And there was one area that we got pins from 5 or 6 completely unrelated people in the same little area.
Yeah.
And we had spent, a day and a half or so hunting in that area, and seemed like, I would say at least that area was pretty shot out. I mean, it was. Yeah. I just, and I don't know if that's because when people travel to that state, that's just where they hunt, and that's kind of the, but it seemed like we definitely hunted away from, if you Google the top 3 places to turkey hunt in the state, we didn't go to any of those. We tried real hard to get away from people and that kind of thing. And
I will say, the temperature I got, this has become my favorite question, by the way, about turkey hunting, is because, 3 to 5 years ago, really, coming right out of COVID, it was spring of 21 that everybody was like, holy, we got a problem. Because we all just mashed their guts in COVID. I mean, we had nowhere to be. The weather was perfect for a month and a half. I mean,
good Lord, of turkeys died.
Yeah. The film we made that year was called Textbook, and I watched that back the other day, and it was just like, God, I'd forgotten how much fun that spring was. I mean, I had
was rough on a turkey.
No day-to-day obligations. It was beautiful weather every day, and I felt like we killed a turkey every single time we turned around. And I think everybody in the whole world did too. Georgia that year, I mean, I think Georgia set their population back 5 years.
Yeah, I saw a lot of turkeys die.
I mean, there were more turkeys died in I can't remember exactly, but in the first week and a half or something of Georgia season that year than they had ever killed in a single season before.
I think I saw that.
And so, not knocking Georgia, and I'm not picking on anybody with this comment, but one thing that was really positive to me this year, I feel like there's a lot of positive sentiment, people that have been trying to manage their turkeys and trying to keep up with their turkeys. There's a lot of like, hey, we've got some numbers again. We've got some turkeys. But this year, what I was really, really pleased with was when I went out west, and I hadn't been out west the last couple springs, but when I went out west, I went twice, Went once with Maddie and once with Tripp, and I kind of hit all my old spots, places I'd been for the last 10 or 15 years. And there were places that had always had a turkey or two, but had like big numbers of turkeys out this year relative to the last 2 or 3, and I was pleased with that. And, just I'd rather there be 20 and shoot one of them than there be 3 and shoot one. Somehow that doesn't feel as good.
Yeah. Luca and I made the comment on the way home that I didn't feel bad about any turkey we had shot because there was at least 3 to 5 jakes in every property that we shot a gobbler off of. They were, so.
Yeah, and across the country, I feel like jake numbers are really strong.
Yeah. It seemed like they had a pretty light winter out there last year.
Yep.
Several people told us that.
And kind of piggybacking off the question you asked, and like I know Walker and I have made a lot of comments about it of like just hunting a lot in your own state. It's like, we killed some turkeys. We're like, man, we could maybe tag out, But then we also kind of are we try to, go and spread the hate is what I say.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to try not to kill all of them off one property. Spread the hate. Go to Washington. Go out here west, whatever. So in that light, I think a lot more people are traveling around trying to do the hunting. Maybe it's the chasing 49 thing, and that's just what they want to do, and they want to do that thing. But anyway, I think that kind of plays into it, like you said, that there's more turkeys here where they used to not be or whatever. Maybe they've moved because of hunting pressure. I think that all has to play into everything. So I don't know.
Speaking of traveling, it's kind of been a hot topic here the last few weeks on social media.
I was just about to ask.
Yeah, the number of people that I've personally seen with an end of season, like I did blah, 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 number of states, blah, 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 number of tags, blah, blah, blah. Like, what
days
y'all's
hunted, miles traveled. Like, man, I don't know. I see those posts. I think that, I think I err probably on the quieter side. And I'm not saying I don't post. I do. I post most of the turkeys I shoot probably, but I don't. I try to refrain from. I don't want anybody to know where it was, that kind of thing. And that's what's crazy to me is maybe not so much. The bragging about turkey numbers, whatever. You just hadn't shot enough of them yet. If you still got to do that, you know what I mean. But the thing that gets me is like the taking a picture with the WMA sign or like.
Yeah.
Your hotel name or something. It's like, man, like, I don't know. I'm looking for that. If I see somebody dropping one, I'm gonna put that hotel in my Google map, figure out where it is. Like,
pay attention to how close it is where you're going.
Yeah,
or just like,
all that
stuff.
It's just
curiosity.
a place to look. Somewhere else to go. And anyway, so I think that it is to me just in general the stuff that people are willing to put on social media is kind of crazy to me.
Personally, I think it's a problem.
I agree.
You got all these people running around promoting killing turkeys. What are they doing to promote helping them?
Right.
And I think if you're going to do one, you have to do the other. I don't think you should do the first one, but you got to give back what you take.
Yeah. And I think, let's clarify, by promoting killing turkeys, like nobody's against honoring the turkey, posting a kill picture. At least,
we're all here
we're
for
not.
it.
No, I think what we're talking about is the whole glorifying. I went to X amount of states and had hunted 60 days and put my hands on this many turkeys.
Saying I killed 20, 30 turkeys.
I think it goes to the kind of like what you're doing it for, like your why. It's like if your why is TikTok and Instagram, then you're missing it. And I think everybody at this table turkey hunts not for anything to do with the phone, but we do it for the experience.
Yeah. Not the rabbit trail is too bad, but I just moved to Old Black Betty, who's sitting on about 520,000 miles, give or take. And she still cranks. Changed her oil the other day. Brian did. Like, she's on a spare tire. The shop next door fussed at me because I wanted one tire, and they were like, you need 5 tires. Like, your spare is even worn out. I'm like, no, you don't understand. This car is – I'm not spending $2,500 on a set of tires for Betty. But I can't help it, and this is a little self-centered to say this, but every time I see one of these posts, and it's like how many states, how many turkeys, how many blah, 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 and then they put their mileage in there, and they're like, I traveled 13,500 miles. I want to be like, you kidding me right now? I can remember a couple 10,000-plus mile Canada trips on Betty,
on that little
post 300,000 miles.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Don't talk to me about your new vehicle that you put 12,000 miles on this turkey season. Like, good for you.
Kentucky
I do think, I like to keep up with that. Even when I started going to North Dakota duck hunting in college, like I would start my trip, and like I think it's something cool to know, but I don't have to. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of like the whole, like Luger said, your why, or like why you're posting it. I mean, like,
it's fun to know, fun to talk to your buddies about, but
right.
like, do you really need the whole world to know? Is that what we're going to glorify?
We got to brag on how much I drove more than you did. Like, I mean,
becomes a measuring contest.
It does. It does. It's just something else to, and that's at the end of the day, that's what turkey hunting is not a. I mean, to me, that's like when you turn it into a competition, that would be like the lowest of the. If it like in that situation where people are competing that much against
an attention competition.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Just for that slice of the Instagram pie, it's like, man, you're missing out on the whole point of it.
I'm going to go out on a limb for just a second, and I may regret it and have Robbie cut this out. But there was recently a very controversial post.
Yep.
Where a gentleman shot a turkey from a device that he used to hide from the turkey that was not a blind. It was I'm not even going to glorify the topic enough to give all the details, but it was a device that you would use for keeping drinks cold or ice frozen.
A lot of drinks.
And I commented very genuinely and still stand by it and meant it. This is not it. And I think when it kind of blew up, and several of these hunting accounts, like copper-plated sixes, some of the ones that kind of mock the bad behavior, which I don't even know these guys, okay, but they got on there and just kind of picked it up, and somehow it caught fire, and that has led to a couple of podcasts talking about it, cancel Rolling Thunder, like all these things. Which I mean, like, hey, I admire somebody's courage for speaking what they think to be the truth. And I, when I go to bed at night, I do pray that the world doesn't cancel us, because I think it's inappropriate to shoot a turkey that way. But my whole thing with that, to the same point about glorifying the making the achievement more than it has to be, is like, at what point, for me, I guess it's an issue when we're not happy enough with just shooting a turkey. Like, if that's not good enough, why are we doing this? Like, why do we have to add all these bells and whistles to it? And so I just, anyways, I've seen a lot of that, and I've also seen a lot of this kind of back and forth and the negativity with fanning and like, got to be the most traditionalist, and there's errors on both sides.
Well,
like, there's
it's
a balance.
crazy to me how it's like the political system in the U.S. is so divisive, and it's like that same thing. It's like you've got to pick one or the other. It's like, I put decoys in my truck and drove out west and hunted for 2.5 weeks, and I never put one out one time, but I took them with me. Like, I would have used them if we had a setup that I thought needed them, and it's like, I don't know. I mean,
well, it's sort of like, I feel, here's where I feel, and I'm not trying to just be I'm not trying to be too lukewarm here, because I do have opinions, but opinions and like positions that you take are two different things. But where I have a problem is, like, you got the side that's like, doesn't matter, dress up like Matt Busbus in a Civil War costume and crawl behind a fan, just to mock the turkey. Like, if that's one side. The other side is like, you should, sit at the base of a tree and never use a decoy and never shoot a turkey that's not actually approaching you. You should never crawl. Like, if those are the kind of the two polar opposites, which way do I lean? Yeah, I lean a little more towards the traditional side. But do I sit and hunt with a decoy when I have my children with me, or even when like you said, think that the setup merits it? Absolutely.
Am I going to slip up that creek bank and
slip?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like,
have I sat in a blind? Yes. Did I sit this year in the rain wishing that I had a blind? Yes. Even though I didn't have a blind with me. Like, it's not the blind, it's not the decoys, it's really not even the costume. It's like, I think it goes back to the why. Like, are you making a spectacle out of the turkey, and is this something that is it just a vehicle for your own, self-righteousness, or for your own publicity's sake, or are you doing this for the right reasons, enjoying it?
No.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No doubt.
I mean, I think, like, Luker and I, on our trip, I mean, we had some yelp 'em up hunts. We had some slip up on them hunts. We had a walk around the barn in the front yard type hunt. And at the end of the day, that's what we said. Do I want to shoot every one of them like that? No. Am I going to take one like that when I can get him and yelp the next one up in the woods? Sure. I mean, I think, I don't know.
There's a balance to all of it.
It is, and I think
it's a spectrum, and it goes back and forth. And
I think the thing for me is, like you said, I would lean towards the decide to sit on a tree, call them up, no decoys, whatever. But I think it's just because, in my eyes, those people care more about the turkey itself. Like, I think that's the hard part for me is it's like what you're saying. It's the mocking the turkey and the fact that when turkey season's over, you don't think about turkey hunting until next turkey season and how can I make some content from it. Not, hey, man, I need to give back or I'm going to buy 2 turkey stamps from Mossy Oak this year instead of 1 or whatever.
And it's those type of guys, like kind of what you were getting at, like the Mr. Foxes and the Colonels, that like they were taking turkeys off their own personal land back in the day, to relocate them and help the actual turkey population.
It's the same people that plant a tree that they're not going to ever see come to fruition.
It's like if somebody came up to me and said, hey, we're going to trap half your turkeys and take them off your land where you already didn't kill any this year, I'd be like, dude,
you've lost your mind,
it'd be really hard to sit there and say take them, but those guys did that, and thank God they did. I mean, shout out to Mr. Fox and the Colonel and the conservationists that have done that to allow us to, be able to. And
I do think, kind of to go back to something Walker said a minute ago, there's a point of that, there's a part of that is kind of stage of maturity and age. And I'm not saying maturity like, your emotional maturity, but there's a point at which it becomes more about something else and somebody else. And I mean, for a lot of those guys, one of the reasons that Mr. Fox was willing to let his place be trapped and move his own turkeys and kind of participate in all that is because he lived through a time when the closest turkey he could hunt was 5 or 6 hours. And if you've got children, you can't raise children and have a wife and a home life at all if you're trying to drive 6 hours to hunt every weekend. Like it doesn't work. And so there's a thought to the future, and there's a remembrance of what it's like to not have that resource. And so
no doubt.
I mean, I think that's the big thing for me, and I think that's probably something a lot of these people that don't understand, like, it's like the southern, people and people that are from out west or the Midwest or north or whatever,
Let's call them Yankees.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
Yankees.
Because the Western folk that I've met don't give a rat in the rear about the turkeys. And I'm not begging everybody to go travel west, but I do feel like the Yankees are just like, kill them all, they're roosting on the house. And the Western folks are like, y'all are what?
Y'all are doing what?
There's turkeys out there?
But I think that there's so many of them out there. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times we heard they're like pests out there, and stuff like that. And so, like you said, none of those people ever had a time where there wasn't turkeys. Those turkeys don't mean anything to them. I mean, my granddad that taught me how to turkey hunt, he told me there was times you heard one gobble in a season and you better kill that turkey. I mean, so when you go in it with that mentality, I mean, even when I was growing up, to kill 1 or 2 around that, to kill one around the house was a big deal. And now it's like, most folks are killing 1, 2, some folks are killing 3 or 4 or whatever. But I think that that's probably a lot of why that vision is that way. I mean, because my granddad was the same generation as Mr. Fox and them, and I mean, he 100% remembered a time when they weren't very many of them at all.
While I'm on my soapbox and kind of preaching a little bit, I do want to just say, everywhere I went this year, a turkey hunter had been there before me.
Yep.
Except for the farm behind my dad's house, and I hope he's not listening to this, but he'd been there before me because he just can't help himself. Got to walk around the farm, get his exercise in. But everywhere outside of my home spots, my leases and things like that, there'd been a traveling turkey hunter there, and most of them had been positive. So I think that's good. But there were 3 or 4 places that I went towards the end of the year that just point blank said, you know what, we used to let people turkey hunt. We're not anymore. We had a couple bad situations. One was a place that a good buddy of mine had been 3 weeks before and was like, this place is loaded. He said, here's the lady's name. Here's her phone number. You should go see it. And I went there and knocked on her door, and she was like, sweetheart, I remember that guy. But we've had a couple since then that were turds. And she was like, we just made a decision as a family not to let anybody hunt.
Anymore.
I say all that not to shame anybody, not to, throw a fit, but just to say that just like when you pack your stuff and hook up to your duck boat and you go to Arkansas, you got to remember, if you're an out-of-state hunter, that you're in somebody else's home. Just like I expect the 3 of y'all to do when you come over and Miss Lindy's cooking dinner, like you got to behave with a different set of manners when you're not in your own home. And ideally, it would be the same set of manners that you hold yourself to in your own home, but at a minimum, when you're outside of your own home, outside of your own comfort zone, outside of your own state, you need to, do like the Boy Scouts said. You need to leave it better than you found it, and you need to treat people with respect, and you need to yes ma'am and no ma'am. And if somebody tells you that you can't hunt, take no for an answer, move on, find the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because I did while I saw more turkey numbers in places that had not had as many in years past, I did get told no more than I have in years past, and I heard more, not horror stories, but
Complaints.
just like annoyances.
Yeah, I would say pretty similar.
Yeah, I would say same experience with us.
And I think that was something we told every landowner that gave us permission and some that didn't. If we had a long enough conversation, we were like, we want to make sure the next guy that asks can still hunt here. Like, can we ask where to park? Ask, can you drive through a gate? Like, when you get permission, don't just get so excited he told you to go hunt.
Yeah, and quite honestly, as many people as are traveling right now, some of these landowners are getting asked 3 and 4 times a day. And if you're a farmer or a rancher and you're just trying to keep holes in your fences patched up,
you ain't got time for that.
I get annoyed when the guys around here are asking me what they need to do next. Like at some point I want to be like, hey, can we make one list in the morning and not talk about it again? So we're all, human nature is you get asked the same question over and over, it's going to get annoying. So I think, I'm not suggesting we need to stop traveling or that traveling's bad. It's awesome. I love that, and I love to see other hunters traveling, but I do think we need to all just keep in mind that there's somebody was there before us, somebody's coming after us, and we need to leave it better than we found it. We need to make, keep the path clear for the next guy.
100%.
And
because we're in it together.
Yeah, and I was going to say, hunt the turkeys you get permission on. Walker and I found ourselves, we'd go and we'd get 2 or 3 yeses in a row. And it was great because we're trying to get the land around it and whatever, But, there's turkeys on this land, go hunt them. Go kill your turkey and get out of there, leave it better than you found it, and then it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
And like you said, everybody's just traveling more, and anything that anybody can do to make it better for the next guy, I'm all for that.
Yeah. All right, I did not intend for us to soapbox, turkey opinions.
That's a
for
good
quite
one to
that
get
long.
on.
But let's change topics. Luker, tell us about the road dogs. Y'all finished up the spring block. I guess you feel like you've changed gears 3 times since the spring block.
Yeah. Life's changed a bunch since then, it feels like, but it's all the same. We're still just burning up the roads. But, yeah, spring block was great. I think it was 8 shows, 9 shows.
What was your favorite of those shows?
Ooh.
I know you're going to say NWTF
let's
for some
just take
reasons,
NWTF out because that's just different. It's just different. If you've been and you know what I mean. I had a lot of fun with Josh when we went up.
The Ohio show?
The Ohio. And Fisher and I. It was just a good show.
Yeah.
The people were
world-class
great.
dude.
Yeah, Josh was fun. I think the setup and breakdown was really easy, so that probably, has something to do with it. But it's just a great show. People were great and met a lot of cool folks. All the shows were great, really, but just Ohio was the one that sticks out.
Okay. What do you think if Fisher was here and not, off gallivanting in the British Rockies, which he's on some kind of a family vacation in Banff, and we're all jealous.
Yeah, very, very jealous.
His Instagram story is like, geez, that looks amazing.
Yeah, it's probably also 65 degrees.
Yeah, I was saying 65, there's no humidity.
Here talking at the table. Yeah.
Meanwhile, we've got the HVAC guy cleaning the coils, trying to keep this place from smoking.
His favorite show? Wisconsin. He'd probably say we had fun. When Hunter came over, he just seemed to really have fun. I think he was just excited. It may have been the last show we both were just kind of ready to get home. I don't know, but he really had fun in Wisconsin. It was.
Yeah, y'all were definitely on fumes when you rolled in into March.
Yeah, for sure.
I think y'all had turkey hunting on your mind.
He asked me. I was like, we were going to try to work that next day, get it together, and we pulled in about 6 a.m. on Monday, and we got to the shop, and he slept because he drove that last little bit, and I got up here and started just ripping stuff out of the trailer. And he comes up and he was like, man, you got some stuff done. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get home, it's turkey season. And then you were like, yeah, Luker, I guess if, you gave me my check and we're all paid up, ready to go. I hit the road, I got home about midnight. Fish thought I was crazy, but there was turkeys to hunt.
That's right. What, I know you've looked ahead a little bit at the schedule, but give me some of the summer, fall, what are some of your shows you're excited about July, August?
I'm excited about Memphis. That's going to be fun. I think it's kind of a home show.
Awesome. Yeah.
Kind of like our people, our world, know. That'll be really fun. I'm really excited for Presley's. I think that'll be cool. I've never been there.
Yeah.
And, Fish is going to call, so I'm excited to support him.
Awesome.
Hopefully he'll qualify. So that'll be cool.
You'll enjoy that because it will not be trade show-like. It will be a lot less people. But since it's an in-store promotion and a calling contest, it'll be a lot. Obviously there won't be a bunch of setup and stuff. It'll just be supporting them. But Presley's is a great store, and Mr. Kelly's top notch.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one for sure. Obviously, and then going to Wingsboro Up the Prairie, I'm excited to be there for that one just because it's for reasons.
It's Wings Up the Prairie.
Wings Up the Prairie.
Yeah. That's a cool one.
Probably those three are my top.
All right. I'm kind of anxious to see what Delta Waterfowl's like in Oklahoma City. They set the bar so high in Little Rock there for a couple of years, and I have such great memories of. I mean, it's just been a couple years ago, but I enjoyed that so much. And Baton Rouge was a very pleasant surprise. Wasn't crazy about the town of Baton Rouge. Like, if I went to LSU, I don't think I'd ever leave campus. It's a tough city.
You find yourself in a bad place quick, for sure.
And if you're prone to booking poor Airbnbs like I am, it's probably not the city you want to book an Airbnb in. But I guess the Delta group, the folks that put it on, have done a good job with their convention, and I think that they'll do a great job in Oklahoma City. It's just such an unknown,
Yeah, both of the times I went Little Rock, it was awesome.
Jamming.
Yeah, I didn't know Delta was I guess the banquet, kind of what it was. And back in college, I kind of helped put on our local chapter. And the guy asked, he was like, if you and your buddy Liston want to come to the Delta banquet, I'll get you a hotel. I got a hotel room, fly out here. And I didn't realize that it was what it was. And I was like, oh, I think I have a wedding or something. I just kind of was like, and then I saw the pictures from it, and I was like, I definitely made the wrong choice. So I'm excited to go this year. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it'll be good. And like you said, DU here in Memphis, that's the one that I'm probably the most excited about because everybody my age remembers in the late 90s the DU deal at their headquarters, and it was huge, the Great Outdoors Show or Great Outdoors Festival, and it was you could drive every side-by-side, four-wheeler, three-wheeler back then and vehicle on the market and shoot every gun. And, they did a good job with the DUX Festival in Dallas. It was more of an experiential show as opposed to a shopping show, which we're way better at the shopping shows than we are the kind of the experiential shows. But they seem to have really honed in on listening to what the vendors wanted, and I think DUX in Memphis is going to turn some heads.
I'm excited.
We're having a big party at that on Friday night, August the 1st. The Hillbillies are going to play at Minglewood Hall.
Oh, yeah.
So that should be a Mossy Oak and us are putting that on. So there's going to be some real good times this fall.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited.
Now
that we got it under our belt a little bit, we know how to do
Y'all
it.
Y'all are pros now.
I was fishing on the phone the other day, and we were talking, and we were like, man, imagine if we went and ran NWTF now. How much smooth. We had no idea.
Oh, yeah, y'all had no clue.
Thank you for throwing us to the wolf.
Oh, that's okay.
Helped.
I mean, everybody here knew that y'all didn't know. So we had a meeting, and it was like, hey, listen, these guys don't have a clue. No matter what they say, we're going to do it our way. They will learn. And y'all did.
Yeah, it was great.
You
fantastic.
did great.
Went to the wrong loading dock off the rail. That was fantastic. Yeah.
But, I mean, that's not something those kind of nuances of doing a show, getting in, getting out, those are not things I can sit down and teach you in a meeting. You have to go experience it and drink deep and long from the cup of experience.
Absolutely. And it runneth over.
That's right. That's right. So, all right. So all that being said, we've turkey soapboxed. We've reviewed the road dogs. It's Golf Scramble weekend. Give me your over and under on your team. Who's gonna win? What you feeling?
Man, I'll go last. Y'all go.
Okay.
Y'all go.
Walker decided to sit this one out. He decided that his effort was going to be put towards fun, so he's fun chair this
He's
weekend.
spectating with me.
Yeah.
Supporting the cause.
So
there you go.
I guess we can start with my team or our team. Team or damn bogey is myself, my father Rick Davidson, good buddy Wyatt Horn, and good buddy Cooper Neal, and they're going to come here and we're going to try to put the ball on the green. I do not think we're going to win this tournament. Who knows? We may. From what I saw yesterday during the practice round, I think my boy
Nathan's
Cold
team,
Iron
Cold Iron
has a really
I'm going
good
to say,
shot.
based on my
Has a really good shot.
prior experience along with the local knowledge and stuff, I mean,
Or whoever Derek's.
Derek's kind of always going to be a
I haven't heard who Derek's fourth player is, although I did hear rumors the other day, and if it's who I heard, he's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
Derek's hard to beat every time.
Right.
I mean, he's a competitive dude. But he's actually, bless his heart, the one year that he was going to win, the storm rolled in, and we canceled it. So he's actually never won this tournament.
But he's always, I mean, it's like, but
he's within a stroke of the lead. I mean, so
there's that. I mean, I think Nathan was stroking it yesterday, and I think his teammates, if they can pull any kind of weight, then
if Stoner can help him a little bit.
Make solid contact. Yeah. Stoner did make a putt or two yesterday, but
tell you what Stoner did. He brought some crabs and made crab cakes that, I mean, when you think of crab cakes, I think of like a woman's appetizer with a little remoulade on top or something. No, these were like
burgers,
crab steaks.
Yeah.
I mean, like burgers, exactly. And they were all crab meat. It wasn't a whole bunch of breading. Golly, they were good.
Those were 10 out of 10. I think that's definitely becoming a golf scramble tradition.
Oh, and my mom, bless her heart, she's a little bitty thing, and she doesn't eat very much, and she's real, she's polite, and she's the quintessential Southern belle, and she was like, oh my gosh, she's a crab cake connoisseur. She was like, oh my gosh, those are the best things I've ever eaten. She was like, I got to meet the guy who made them. So I introduced her to him. She came back over to me a few minutes later, and she said, you wouldn't believe this. He said he uses Ritz crackers instead of saltines, and he was drunk the first time he made them. And I was like, the fact that my mother retold me that story tells me she thought those crab cakes were unbelievable.
Really good.
That's funny.
That is hilarious.
So everybody enjoyed those last night. And
sure. But, yeah, I guess the main thing's hoping we can dodge this rain coming in. Which
I think we're going to dodge it tonight.
I
really do. It looks fine today, but tomorrow is going to be
we'll see.
rather sketchy.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see.
All we can do is go out.
We're going to be there.
Try. Yeah, we'll see.
That's for sure.
Reckon. But
we got all day. Nobody else is playing on the golf course. If it requires a couple of intermissions and
it'll be all right.
the clubhouse. Yeah, that'll be
I think it also is a good thing. I guess the golf isn't starting until about 10 or so.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good call because when the Hillbillies play, it usually is a
slow morning.
Pretty good. Yeah, people takes a minute to get rolling the next day.
Walker, some people say these gray hairs around my ears and on my chin are the proof of experience. They're not really experience, but they are proof of just living through bad decisions.
That's right. That's right.
10 a.m. seems like a
great time. Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, good. Glad y'all are in town. Can't wait to see Big Rick.
Yeah,
I know he's competitive because last couple of days he's been checking on Luke, or how's your swing? How's your
he's
Big
ready.
Rick really wants to win this.
He's
not coming up here.
Come up here to
No, and on Wednesday, Luker was hitting them. It was like could have won the Masters.
Best round of my life, of course.
Best round of his life, all that. And then yesterday, what I saw, I don't know, we might be like third flight, first place.
It might have to do with the fact that I had Luker reside a trailer and, build a fence and like 17 other random.
Put him through and
welcome back.
Swing
It's been
messed
great.
up.
It's been great. The air mattress deflated last night. Got a crick in my neck. I mean, we're rough, but it's fine.
That's tough.
It's fine. Don't sleep. Y'all keep doubting me, like they say. Doubt us. Doubt us.
Yeah.
Doubt us.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll wrap it up. So
sounds good. Happy belated birthday, Walker.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. We got a big weekend ahead, and if you're listening to the podcast, get in the truck, get here. Dinner's on the house, courtesy of Shin Gear and the Mid-South Farmers Co-op. So that's pretty cool. Free dinner, open bar, and I think we got enough food and liquor and beer to take care of the whole county.
And live country music.
So. Yeah, and some incredible live country music. So we'll catch you guys next week on another one. So thanks for listening, and this has been another episode of the Rolling Thunder Podcast.
Join the team that is making a real difference. Ducks Unlimited is powered by people like you. With your help, we can continue to raise funds that drive wetlands conservation across the continent. Whether you are out selling event tickets, securing donations, or finding that next sponsor, we have a role for everyone. Sign up today to join your local DU chapter at ducks.org/volunteer or attend your local DU event. Ducks Unlimited, conservation for a continent.